He was diagnosed with diabetes at 18 months old, which was extremely young. And it was devastating for a while. We decided we were going to get through it and make the best we could of it.
He was diagnosed at the end of January, on January 27th, and it was kind of interesting because our babysitter, she kept noticing that he was drinking a lot, and we kept saying, oh, he's okay, and it went a whole week. And then on that Friday, I was like, okay, it's all the classic symptoms, the frequent urination and the increased thirst and just fatigue. And so we took him to our pediatrician, and he said, yeah, we're gonna do some tests, but we think that that he might be diabetic.
I didn't even know what diabetes was. I don't even think I knew anyone that had diabetes. So it was a whole new thing. I was like, diabetes, I don't even know what that means. Like, that's a total foreign word to me. So it was shocking.
It's a 24/7 job, and our whole entire family is a part of taking care of him. My daughter Harper, she's 4, and so we started immediately trying to teach her how to help take care of him. But it's from the minute we wake up, it's counting carbs, it's every meal. He's on an insulin pump now, which makes things a lot easier.
I always looked out for him, even though I'm younger, looked out for him to make sure that he was, taking his insulin and eating like he was supposed to.
The first couple months, I was afraid for him to walk out the door. Like, I was afraid, was he gonna feel bad, immediately? So I've gotten a little bit more used to it. But, since he does play a lot of sports, it makes me nervous when he's out there running up and down the football field or basketball field, burning lots of energy. It puts you on edge, not knowing how he's going to react.
It's all night long, getting up, 5-6 times at night sometimes. It's, every meal. It's if he gets too much exercise, he plummets and drops. If he, happens to find a random gummy worm on the floor, that his sister's left, then he eats it and he goes high. And so it's constantly, keeping things in check. He had a seizure, I guess it was at the end of August. It was in the middle of a nap. And it was a regular day. We didn't have any symptoms. He was shaking and screaming. He didn't know what was going on, and it was awful. Our first ambulance experience, and first hospital experience with diabetes. So that's definitely been the worst.
To think that he could go away for an extended amount of time with no worries. We just kept waiting for the phone call. Is everything okay? And we never got a phone call. But he had a doctor that was in his cabin with 9 other little boys exactly the same age.
From diabetic camp, I learned a lot on how to take care of myself instead of having to depend on my parents or my sister to watch over me all the time.
We did tons of stuff. We went hiking, we did archery, and we did scavenger hunt. That was most fun.
The best is the family functions and being able to communicate and talk to other parents, because it's very difficult, I think, as a caregiver and as a family to deal with a diagnosis, especially when you're dealing with, a really young, 15 months old. We didn't know, we were completely clueless as to what to do. And so being able to meet people and communicate online and having that support group is just, it's the only thing that gets me through some nights, having to stay up and take care of him, is just knowing that there are other people out there.
When Mom passed away, our doctor at the time, our pediatrician that actually diagnosed me with it, told me the story of when I was diagnosed. We were in the hospital. Dr. Lynn came up, tears in her eyes, crying, to tell her, one of her dearest friends, that her son had this disease. And when she told her, Mom just sucked it up, looked at her in the face and said, "What do we do now?"
Raise money for education and research is the main thing, because that's the only way there's going to be a cure for it.
It's something that he's not going to escape. It's a chronic illness that he will have for the rest of his life. And so being able to manage that, and I see diabetes as something that he has, but it's not going to define who he is, and I don't want it to have to limit his choices in life and the decisions that he makes. He just has to learn how to manage it.